Sarah Pochin.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. This remedial order is just another step by this government towards repealing and overriding the last government's Legacy Act. This government, the Secretary of State for Northern Ireland, the Prime Minister, the Attorney-General, Lord Hermer, who has in the past represented Gerry Adams, claimed that the Legacy Act 2023 is contrary to the European Convention on Human Rights. And there again we hear the ECHR wrongly allowed to interfere in our justice system. The Legacy Act put a stop to lawfare. This Act, whilst not perfect, was a step in the right direction by outlawing lawfare against veterans. However, it also prevented legal action and prosecution of terrorists. This government wants to reopen inquiries, leading to the return of years of misery and stress and persecution of our brave veterans in their retirement years, who served this country so loyally during the Troubles. In the meantime, on-the-run letters of comfort remain in place for IRA terrorists, letters sent by Tony Blair and Jonathan Powell, the current National Security Advisor. The return of civil suits will lead to the return of slow justice and a cost of millions more to the taxpayer. This legislation will serve no purpose other than to pursue our brave veterans. This legislation is unfair and against their human rights, and I will not be voting in favour of this remedial order today.
Yeah.
I call Alex Easton.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. I rise as a proud unionist from Northern Ireland and as somebody who stands foursquared with our veterans, innocent victims and their families. I have deep concerns about the remedial order and how this is going to operate. And from the perspective of our veterans who served in Northern Ireland, this entire legacy framework is nothing short of deeply worrying. These are men and women, often now in their 70s and 80s, who put on the uniform of this country, who operated under orders, under rules, under the law, and under unimaginable pressure to hold the line between democracy and terrorism. Yet what is the message that we are sending today? Welcome to Labour's Northern Ireland, where Republicans run around with letters of comfort in their pockets, while innocent soldiers like Soldier F are honoured and hounded through the courts. We are told this order is about remedying and fixing deficiencies in the 2003 Act. It does nothing of the kind. The central obscenity remains. The effective closing down of routes to meaningful justice for hundreds of innocent families, while leaving entirely intact the pattern in which the vast majority of new investigatory energy is directed at former members of the security forces. Let us be absolutely clear. Our veterans did not start the Troubles. They did not choose the battleground. They were sent by this Parliament to defend the rule of law, to protect both communities and to uphold the very democracy that allows some in this chamber to denounce them today. To watch in 2025 as the state bends over backwards to accommodate the sensitivities of those who waged war against it, while putting elderly veterans back in the dock for split-second decisions made in the fog of conflict half a century ago, is to witness a profound moral failure. For the victims of terrorism, Protestant, Catholic and none, this framework still closes doors. It still moves them from a justice-based system to a process-based system, from the possibility of accountability to the inevitability of managed disappointment. They are told to accept truth recovery with no guarantee of truth, reconciliation, with no guarantee of remorse, and closure with no guarantee of justice. For veterans, it is even worse. They see those who tried to murder them or who murdered their comrades sitting in government or appearing on TV, their past laundered and legitimised. At the same time, they see files reopened against them, headlines splashed against them, and their last years overshadowed by legal and political warfare. This is not equal treatment. This is not a balanced approach to the past. It is calculated political accommodation with republicanism paid for with peace of mind of those who serve this country. I say this directly to the Minister. If they will not stand with the men and women who defended this kingdom, do not be surprised when they conclude that this kingdom is no longer standing with them.
Sorcha Eastwood.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. I welcome this move today by the Government, and I will welcome the removal of the word reconciliation. There's a lot that I'd like to say about this, but we're short in time, so I'll just get to the point. I've heard some remarks today that are incredibly disturbing and distressing, particularly, and I don't want to pick on anybody, but the Right Honourable Member for New Forest East, and I quote, and do forgive me if I misrepresent you, but if the price of giving veterans an amnesty is that terrorists get the same, well then that's a price I'm willing to pay. Well, that's a price I and the people of Lagan Valley and the vast majority of people in Northern Ireland are simply not willing to pay. We have had a conversation today about, oh, we all agree there's no moral equivalence. Fair enough, but I don't know what on earth moral equivalence is, unless it's a situation where terrorists and people who wore a uniform are both given a carve-out from the rule of law. And by the way, none of us get to speak en masse for veterans. I have veterans in my own house. I'm proud of them. And do you know what? They never asked for immunity. In fact, I agree with my colleagues from Northern Ireland whenever they say there's a wholesale rewriting of history. Absolutely there is. It's already in progress. But what I would say is I would simply ask colleagues to stop for pause and think. If there is a rewriting of history already going on, to those who are not present in this House today, who say, see, told you so, they all needed a get out of jail free card because we can't guarantee that every single person that served in Northern Ireland did so honourably and lawfully. Think what that will give them. I don't want that to happen. I do not want that to happen. And where there was wrongdoing, where there is a list of cases, some of the people that I know that served both in the RUC, the UDR, the regular army, will be the first to say, where there was wrongdoing, let us put it right. Because we do not want that to besmirch our reputation. And lastly, we are in a situation, arguably already in hybrid war. We're potentially considering future deployments. I do not want anybody representing the UK to be abroad, overseas, with this hanging over them. I'm proud to be Northern Irish, I'm proud to be British, I'm also proud to be Irish. But most of all, I am proud to say that we should be able to stand by the rule of law wherever we are deployed. We should not lower our standards because we worry about the standards of terrorists and the evidence available to them. We should maintain our rule of law, and I will be supporting this today. Thank you.
Samuel.